How do I find a good reptile vet near me? Obviously, this is an important question to anybody who's interested in the well-being of their new pet, but it can be kind of difficult and challenging at times to figure out. So in order to help us do this, we're going to bring in Phil Goss, our very own president of the United States Association of Reptile Keepers, which is a nonprofit organization that is interested in promoting the responsible keeping of reptiles in captivity. Mr. President, how are you doing today?
I'm superb. How are you doing, Garrett?
If I had a tail, I would wag it. Speaking of which, what is the best way for me to find a qualified reptile vet in my area?
So at the bottom of every USARC newsletter, we actually have a link for the Association of Reptile and Amphibian Veterinarians. So this is kind of a specialty network of veterinarians. They may see other animals too, but they're at least somewhat specialized or knowledgeable of reptiles and amphibians. So just go click that link and type in your address and find your closest ARAV specialty veterinarian. And when you get your pet home, set up that first appointment just to get a general overall health assessment, and then you'll be in the books and you'll be a client for that vet.
Okay. Why is it so important that I take my reptile to a vet that specializes in treating them specifically?
Yeah, it's super important because dogs and cats are obviously the most common pets that we have in the US. So a lot of vets know dogs and cats, and some veterinarians will only look at dog and cats or take dog and cat patients. So unless you know of a veterinarian who handles exotics or reptiles or amphibians or whatever you have, if you were in an emergency, which hopefully you would know this before an emergency ever happened, but it's super important to already be a client at your closest reptile and amphibian veterinarian.
Duly noted. So in the whole pet ownership process, when should I find and introduce myself to that vet?
Yeah, I mean, if you have a pet and if it's a reptile or amphibian, again, you're going to want to find that information as soon as you get that pet home, preferably before you even bring that pet home, just in case something would happen shortly after you got home. I mean, it's not necessarily even an illness. You could have an issue with a heating issue or an electrical issue or something else, or maybe you have a pet dog or cat that actually harms your pet reptile. I mean, it could be something that's not even necessarily an illness that you may not have to get there right away. It could be a true emergency. So yeah, you're going to want to know where your nearest specialty vet is.
Well, thank you so much for all of your help. And if you guys found this video helpful, please consider subscribing so that we can get this kind of good information out to reptile keepers everywhere. Thanks again, Phil.
Absolutely.
And thank you guys. Good night, America.